we want investments to come to the city, it's very cyclic in nature. So when you're asking for investment to come, it can only come when you start trading with the outer world. So that means that trade and investment has to exist. They have to coexist. So we can't just be sitting in Nagpur and saying, I'll wait for investors to come. They will come, but at the same time, you have to become global yourself. You have to see the world for yourself. You have to go and meet people in different parts of the world. Now that we have some good connectivity from Nagpur, get to Qatar, and the whole world is at your footstep. And for all you know, you might have other connections coming in the other part of the country soon, and so you might go to Southeast Asia very soon. So all that gives you a focus about not just staying put in Nagpur and, okay, let's go to Bombay or Pune, but explore the world. The world is your oyster, really, in that sense. So you can go and do trade with countries around the world. And as I said, that's why trade and investment coexist. So you do trade, you get investment, you do more trade, and that's how it's going to be. As far as the UK goes, I'll let William talk about the Brexit aspect of it. I'm not going to get to the dreaded B word, but what I do feel, and this is something that I've been seeing for the last few years, and I'm sure it's going to continue, is the whole thing about in a post-Brexit environment. I strongly feel again that India-UK trade relationship and the investment relationship will go to the next level. Whether it's a free trade agreement between India and the UK, everything is going to get fast-tracked. The fact that the British Prime Minister Theresa May made her first visit outside the EU to India says a lot about their interest in this market. The fact that British ministers are here every now and then. We had the Chancellor last week in Mumbai talking about the fintech sector and talking about the existing pharmaceutical investors in India, from India and the UK. So there's a lot of interest and a lot of appetite in that sense to further grow the trade and investment relationship between UK and India. Some success stories, some examples just to give things in context in terms of how things can grow and expand for you when you come to the UK. This is a college dropout from Jalandhar. He set up a technology business, a product business. He moved to Gurgaon. I met him 5 years ago, and he said, Chandru, I've grown the business, but I want to make it truly global. Can you help me internationalize? We said, okay, we'll put a plan together. We took him to London, and he said, I want to retire in 5 years. He retired in 4 years. He sold his company earlier this year to a US private equity player, made his millions, and he's retired. And after a week's time, he said, Chandru, I don't know what to do. I need to do something else. So I'm just trying to say is that sometimes going global gives you that kind of a platform wherein you can take a business to the next level, truly internationalize, and get full worth of what you're worthy of. So, and then you get noticed on a global platform. The big boys look after you, take note of what you're doing, and then give you some fantastic valuations. So for some of the tech startups and the tech guys who are looking to do business in Nagpur, I would say that look outward, look global, and look at London, look at UK, which is a good platform for all of you. In terms of opportunities, very, very briefly, I will touch about it. We talked about technology, and I think we were just discussing earlier about the aerospace industry, the aviation industry. I think on the back of it, we could do a lot in that area as well. And the key is that we could look at inviting delegations to come over. There's a British delegation. We can talk to the trade team at the DIT and see that next time whenever there is a British delegation in the aerospace sector, why don't we get them to Nagpur for a day and show them what the Nagpur aerospace capability is all about. If there is a healthcare delegation, we bring them here and show them the Indo-UK health initiative that's coming up. We show them the Lupin state-of-the-art manufacturing lab and say, all this can happen in Nagpur. Food processing, that's a big area as well. I was talking to somebody in the afternoon. He's selling his dal pulses from Vidarbha to the UK, and he's selling it to the big boys there. So again, probably the dal that I'm eating in London comes from Vidarbha, so for all I know. So again, food processing is an area that you can look to explore, whether it's soya bean, whether it's cotton, whether it's a lot of other stuff that grows here. Oranges, processed orange stuff, probably has a market in the UK, you can explore that. And something that I've also been hearing a lot over the last few of my trips is a lot of Indian restaurants, specialty restaurants looking to come to UK, looking to come to London. I haven't seen a Saudi restaurant in London. If anybody has an idea, why don't you start a Saudi restaurant in London and make a big story of it? So for all you know, because the awareness of the Saudi cuisine is quite high in the UK. When you talk to people, when I tell them about I'm from Nagpur, they say, "Oh, I heard about this very spicy Saudi cuisine. Do you know anything about it?" So I'm a vegetarian, so I don't know much about it, but I've had the Saudi vegetarian version. But yeah, so that's the cuisine. Probably you can look at that. Some of you can look at those kind of opportunities as well. The larger picture though is in terms of how UK tries to attract investments. And just to give you an idea of the department that William represents, and Devdutt here from the Department of International Trade, they represent the way the government takes it upon themselves to attract investments. On similar lines that the Indian government has an initiative called Invest India. So just to give an example, the kind of results that they achieve every year. So the results have just come out earlier this week, and BIT creates something like 1,500 new jobs every week in the UK. So that's the kind of activity that this department does. And I strongly believe that Invest India, if we work with Invest India, so BIA along with Invest India and Nagpur First, if we can do some kind of an exercise wherein we say that, okay, can we do some kind of a project wherein we look at an activity which can generate employment opportunities? Because the way I've seen even this morning in Mihan, Future Group is creating job opportunities for the ladies there. On the shop floor, there's so many jobs being created. We've seen Lupin, a lot of jobs created there. The HCLs and the Infosys of the world, getting people back from all over the world to come back to Nagpur. But you can create new jobs on the basis of the fact that if we attract investment attraction leads to new jobs. So that's an area, as an idea, we can look to adopt and see what we can do from there. So I can go on and on and on, but I'll probably stop there and I'll let William do the rest of the talking. I've done enough of the come to the UK thing. But just to some top level stuff, I thought I just forgot about it. Coming to the UK, the tax rate you pay in India is 33%. If you want to come and do business in the UK, the tax rate in the UK is currently 19%, going down to 17%. So yeah, if you're going to be a profitable venture in the UK, come to UK and enjoy some low rate of tax. If you're doing R&D work there, UK government again has some very, very lucrative R&D tax credits in place. So for every £100 you spend on R&D, you get a £230 tax relief. And if you have a patent of your own, come and get your patent registered in the UK. Any commercialization that happens of a patent will be taxed only at 10%. So little things here and there, but when you all put them together, suddenly coming to the UK is not that expensive after all. And then come to the UK and not just enjoy the business, but also come and see India crash England 5-0 in the Test series. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chandru. 5-0 is definitely a good idea, and so is the Saudi. But any such restaurant in UK must have a big and bold warning sign in front of the restaurant. May I now request our speaker for the day, Mr. William Hopkinson, first Secretary to the British High Commission.
Thank you very much. I will not make any comments about the cricket. Thank you very much to those on there for this opportunity, and thank you very much to BIA and to Nagpur First for the opportunity they've given me today to explore Nagpur. And this is my very first visit here. I've been here slightly over 24 hours now, and I've been deeply impressed by it. Even with the rain yesterday. It's been a really fascinating morning. As Chandru said, the High Commissioner came back from his meetings here a short while ago and was very enthusiastic, and I can fully endorse that enthusiasm. You have an amazing city, an amazing region, and I'm optimistic that it is going places. I'm sure it will be. I'm not going to speak for that long because I think on this sort of occasion, questions is often more useful. You will have specific questions that you will want me to answer, and I will do my best to do so. So I will only try and set out a very brief overall position. UK-India relations have been growing steadily. They are on a very solid footing. Prime Minister Modi was in London in April, meeting the Queen, meeting our Prime Minister, announcing a range of joint projects between our two countries. That is what happens when you have senior level visits. There is a range of announcements, but this one did actually have quite a lot of substance, and it was really focused on our economies, making our two economies go together. Currently, Britain and India are 6th and 7th in the world's economies in terms of size. In the course, I've been here 5 months in India, and in the course of my 3 years here, I think we can confidently predict that India will become 6th and Britain will become 7th. So for me, it's a fascinating time to be engaging with the Indian economy as you go up the world ranking, becoming an ever greater part of the world. Amongst the elements that were announced in April and which were discussed by the Chancellor of our Finance Minister earlier this week with the Chief Minister of Maharashtra is a English Midlands, Maharashtra link up to make use of the skills that are present in the English Midlands and Maharashtra to drive forward the connection between our two countries. And I hope that Nagpur will be playing a key part in that. And given the range of industries that I've seen today, I'm sure that will be the case. Because what this is, the pairing between our two countries is about making use of our respective strengths. There's a lot of complementarity between the two sides. Britain has a very active ecosystem. That's a terrible technical word, no, in economic terms. But we have a significant number of top universities. I think 3 in the top 10 in the world are from the UK, Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial London, and we are very good at turning inventions in universities into real things that drive the economy forward. What we have been less good at in the past is, once we've got to that invention stage, then really commercialising them. And one of the key elements of partnership with India is using your commercial skills to make use of some of that and to link into the brilliant engineers, the brilliant scientists that India produces and that are well illustrated in your universities here in Nagpur, to drive forward joint scientific cooperation that goes on into the commercial world to make a wider business, to give wider business a cutting edge that can make use of elements such as the centre around the airport here. We've got lots in common in terms of a strong legal systems that are, like all legal systems, occasionally frustrating, but we understand each other's legal systems. So if you are coming to the UK, or if British companies are coming here, we understand each other. Our lawyers can understand each other. And when making contracts, the lawyers understanding each other is always a useful element. We can speak a language together without translation to a large extent. And that makes a huge difference, getting companies to really bond together, because business is about trust, and the less obstacles you have, the better. All of those are reasons why we'll cooperate, and we will look, working with yourselves, to take that forward. I'm happy in the course of questions to talk a bit about why you might want to invest in the UK. Chandra has laid out some of the big picture elements about if you want to go global, the UK you need to make that move if you really want to develop your business, and the UK is a key place for that. It has a large and historic links with Indian business. We are number 6, I think, on the ease of doing business in the world, which is quite good. It makes quite a big difference in terms of when you're really pushing out into the world. You want the bureaucratic obstacles to be an absolute minimum, and this is one of the ways that we can really help. Chandru generously passed me Brexit to mention. So next March, the United Kingdom will leave the European Union. This has been a controversial element in the UK, and anybody reading British papers will know that it still dominates British political discourse. What it means, however, is that it has driven forward the already existing interest and engagement with India in the UK. Suddenly, I mean, India has always had a prominent part in that desire to engage, but there has now been a real political and, to an extent, cultural shift with people going, we need to look beyond Europe, because before, for a long time, many British businesses were engaging in Europe because it was relatively easy. There's now a real sense of, actually, we're entering into a global world, we need to be reaching out there. Where can we reach out to? And I would say that beyond Europe and the US, the first place that the majority of British businesses think about is India. And I think that offers enormous opportunities for Indian business to engage with the UK, either by investing in the UK or bringing in British business or expertise to reinforce your positions of your businesses. Very quickly, in terms of what we can do, so I come from the Deputy High Commission based in Mumbai, which has an office in Pune. We have a variety of different services that we can offer you. We can help you with the investment side, we can help you link you up with British companies on trade, and for those on the academic or the research side, we can link you up with British academics, British R&D. If you have further questions on that, please let me know, either directly in the questions to come or follow up with us afterwards. Let's pass on to questions, but I would emphasize that this is a real opportunity. We have top-level political cover from our respective prime ministers. We have a cultural drive in the form of a Britain looking towards India as a key partner, and Britain being one of a number of opportunities for India globally. There is no suggestion that Britain should be your exclusive partner abroad, but I think it is a partner that can make a good case for you to look seriously at it, to engage with it, first for Britain, and then as part of a globalized strategy. Thank you.
Any questions, if anyone wants to ask?
Myself, Bridgman Botada. Myself, Bridgman Botada, coming from Indian Forest Services. I worked more than 30 years in the forest department. A major service was in the forest of Vidarbha. What I have seen is that Vidarbha, though is rich in flora and fauna, but the efforts to, industries in the rural areas is as good as this. Rural areas, whatsoever may be the problems, maybe of power backup or whatsoever, but there is an immense scope of small scale industries in the rural area. It must be noted that the major poverty lies in the most dense jungle area. And the people, the villagers, the poor, they are just literally cutting the trees of teak which are valued in lakhs. And this is happening in the Gadchiroli and Melghat area of the Vidarbha. See, the bamboo industry, the exemption of the transit path by the government for TP, it has encouraged bamboo plantation, but the bamboo plantation is such that it has no market. Bamboo needs to be, it's industrialized in such a way that it should be farm to industry.
Is this question directed to the president?
Yeah, it is a question.
Directed to the president or to the?
Everybody.
Okay.
If you permit to.
Yes, please.
My only question, I think it could be in the context of Mr. Hopkinson's visit. Other domestic issues we can always discuss.
Okay.
But let us utilize the opportunity in the context of, India.
My specific question is that why should we not go in the rural industrialization? That's all.
Yeah. That I think we can meet after this.
Okay.
And then we can discuss.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yeah.
Very good evening. I'm Ankush Mundirata. I'm chartered accountant, but we are working for as IT consultants for information technology companies in the UK as well as in the Nagpur, as Chandru rightly emphasized on the bond that exists between both the countries. And we have been exactly working on the same path as to trying to invest in the UK via SMEs and even share the talent pool. I think I'm visible.
Just a colleague back here.
So, but recently we have been facing some skill transfer issues because of the work permit visa policies that have changed recently. And you being from the High Commission, I think you're the best person to answer that. So, whenever for SMEs, talent is required at the right time. So, if even after passing the labor market test, they can't get the skill right in time, even from the other countries, not only from the UK, that hampers this business. So, especially into IT, because we have been helping UK clients as well in data analytics and stuff like that. So, it's a niche area. So what are your opinions regarding this? Because we have been facing a lot of issues just because of this.
Normally, when I'm on this sort of event, I dread the visa question. There is a visa question. On this occasion, however, I feel more confident in giving an answer. In that, in the last few weeks, there have been a couple of changes that make potentially significant difference to that particular problem. One is that we have a number of tiers of different visas that you can apply for. The tier 1, which was formerly linked in with being an entrepreneur after you studied in the UK, has now been expanded so that it is allows for entrepreneurs to come in not immediately after their study, at a later point in their careers. On the second one, the tier 2 visas, these are visas for highly skilled migrants, which I suspect is the main route that you're talking about.
Yes.
Up until last week, or the week before, health workers, so doctors, nurses, etc., came in under that scheme, and there was a quota for that number of skilled people coming in. We have now removed the health workers from that quota, whilst keeping the quota the same. Effectively, therefore, increasing the numbers of visas available by about half as much again, a bit less than half as much again. Given that, and that's worldwide, but given that we give more of these visas to Indians than we do all of the rest of the world combined, I think that has almost certainly significantly increased the scope for Indian companies to be able to bring the people they need in.
Okay, so this change you're talking about is had happened in the last 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.
So if you can just add a bit on that. Also, there is a new visa for the startup visa that has been announced, which will come into place from 2020. So we still don't know the we still don't know the exact rules of it because it's still being under discussion. But that startup visa is also going to ease the movement of budding entrepreneurs who want to come and use UK as a landing pad. Because you also already have a visa for an entrepreneur visa. Right? The entrepreneur visa has got a commercial angle of £200,000 attached to it. But this startup visa is going to be a bit more liberal in that sense for the entrepreneurs to go to the UK. Also on the intra-company transfer visa, that's a relatively easily available visa. So if you go down the route of having a sponsorship license and applying for an intra-company transfer, which means that you have an employee in your company and you want to second that person to go to the UK to work on the UK company's payroll. So that's pretty much doable. So there is absolutely no limitations on that one. So you can have as many people as you want. Something like a TCS or Infosys have got 10,000 Indian expats working in the UK every quarter. So
Yeah, we'll explore all these opportunities. Thank you so much.
Good morning, sir. My name is Shakti Jaiswal. I just wanted to know, is there any chances that UKBA is having any, like, we can have doctors who are the part of Royal Society of India over there, can come to Nagpur or any area where it is necessary, like for medical case-to-case basis? Is there any policy regarding that?
So just to clarify, in terms of the National Health Service sending doctors here, or?
No, in the collaboration, not related to NHS.
I mean, that we would, in terms of medical collaboration.
Yeah, collaboration, data.
So there is a private medical company that has been is UK linked, that is setting up in the airport zone.
Okay.
And is using British trained doctors, people who have worked in the UK, and there are a number of other companies that are engaging on that, and that is part of a nationwide commercial approach, but is centred in Nagpur. Nagpur is the key point for it. The ground has been broken for the hospital. I don't think it's been completed yet, but it is due to be completed in the next couple of years. That is useful.
Yeah, good evening. My question is that can we organize a cultural fairs or trade fairs between UK and Vidarbha as we are talking about? So there is lot many exchange of cultural activities which can be done. Maybe UK and the cultural things which we probably watch on TV. There are weddings and there are not many things which happens there, but then we don't see it here. So is there a possibility that that can be done in future?
So I can say that the whole of last year, which is just ended now, I think a couple of months ago, it was the year of India-UK Year of Culture. So it was basically announced by the two prime ministers the year before, and the whole of the last year between the British Council and the ICCR, which is the Indian Cultural Research Centre. And so they've done a lot of joint initiatives and a lot of activities that have happened in the UK. For example, the Science Museum had a special area dedicated to the Indian scientific achievements, and something which was of very interest to me, and I took my son to show him, was that there was a whole area that was dedicated to the Indian Jugaad, the Indian Jugaad way of doing things, which found a place in the heart of the Science Museum in the UK, which was fantastic. And you had a lot of British Council activities here, so a lot of emphasis on development of English, spoken English, through various Shakespeare plays that were not just shown in the various metro cities, but were taken to the tier 2, tier 3 cities. So a lot of activities happened last year, but I don't see any reason to say that we could not look to explore something like that.
It's not happened here, but then usually in international trade fairs in Delhi and
Yeah.
different countries come there and then showcase their cultural activities.
You mean Nagpur, you want Nagpur?
Yeah, especially Nagpur.
So we could explore that, and I think what we're trying to do at Nagpur first is during the Global Nagpur Summit later this year, we will see if we can get the support of the British High Commission and Williams Office to see if we can get some maybe Scottish bagpipers or maybe some English musicians from the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra to come and play in Nagpur. Wishful thinking, but we can at least start trying on that.
We have South Central Cultural Zone in Nagpur,
Yes.
which is set up by Government of India and even Maharashtra government has supported, which is doing really extremely good in the Republic Day parade. For last 3 years, I think,
We won
consecutively,
this time.
the best parade prize has been bagged by the South Central Cultural Zone team. So you can have association and tie up with that.
Happy to discuss that and see how we can take that.
Thank you so much.
I have a question. How about a visa on arrival for Indians in UK for business?
On a personal level, I would love to see that. I think that it will, over time, we will see shifts. There is a project underway on e-visas for worldwide, shifting UK or visas for Indians to e-visas, which will greatly simplify the process. Due to technological challenges and the joy of making sure that everybody's data is protected, that is not moving as quick as we would like. We should actually check that. I'm sure there probably are Indian companies involved in the IT that's working that out. So in terms of increasing the smoothness of the process, it's something we are actively working on, although I can't promise it will arrive soon. The wider visa question is a political issue which I think isn't going to be solved immediately.
Thank you.
But it is our aim to make the process as smooth as possible, because that's what it's about, minimising.
There are fast track visas available, so give some money more and then get a visa quickly.
Okay, okay, good. Thank you.
Just to interrupt, sorry, there was vehicle 2178. Somebody over here has this vehicle, this needs to be removed. 2178 Krista. I think all of us are eagerly waiting to hear Ajay, so without much further ado, I'll invite him to make his remarks.
I heartily welcome Mr. Hopkins on his maiden visit to Nagpur, which is a follow-up visit after your Deputy Governor, Deputy Ambassador rather. I am thankful to Atul Bhai from VIA, Suresh Rathi, Nagpur First, Faiz, Jayaprakash ji for inviting me. It's good to know, before starting this event, informally it was discussed that a lot of time has been gainfully utilized today morning to visit the Mihan facilities. You met some industrialists here. So you could know little more about Nagpur and Vidarbha. See, as the purpose of your visit is, what could be available for the businessmen from UK in Vidarbha and what opportunities are available for Vidarbhites in UK. A lot of things are very well showcased by Chandru here, and as you know, Nagpur First is taking a lot of initiatives for the past few years, and now slowly when it started, because I have been associated with them since day one, the response was so poor lot of people thought whether where they will land, but now you see, in true sense, the trade is transpiring now. It takes time. That is what I was speaking to Chandru. Nagpur is a little slow city. Because this is my experience. But once we take off, then there is no looking back.
Yes.
So I just told him that don't stop penetrating here. Nagpur is not only now is the 0 mile or center of the country, it is center of the lot of activities also, business activities also. Mihan is ready, we are still waiting for the right industries to come. But the reason is not only political or influencing the industries. The fact remains that any big industries, they are influenced by the global atmosphere. Unless and until it is